Capitalism was never a real system. It was always based on the antithesis of revolution. So if something has multiple antitheses, that means there is a negative rather than a positive. So this can be equated to the tetrarch of a diagram. So diagrams can measure and record negatives, but they are never positive. That's for entitlement. Entitlements are positivity gafted, which means they no longer exist, but are actually part of an equation. Only equality is positive. There is no negative of a positive. So if equality is always part of a diagram, that means there's two measurements in an equality, and that's limit and reduction. So if limits are reduced to the reduction, reductions are equipment in upper and lower crafted measurements. So measurements of equality would be gafting each other onto one another and then reducing the equation back into limits. So limits would then be calculus in this system because that's how the measurement is claimed as an integral. There is no individual integral, there's only the entire integral, which is a sigma. So sigmas are double gafted integrals, while negative integrals are options to have integrals removed. So negative integrals are actually the option of having an integral, while having no integral would be having the statement as is. So statement is actually one integral, while negative integrals would be the removal of the statement. So if a sigma is to have a integration, that means the integration of the sigma would actually be part of a removal of shape. So the shape of the sigma would be negative, while the integration of the sigma would be in equalities. So equalities are the shape and the negatives are the integral, but integration happens on the individual basis that shape and integration do not exist, but that they actually are negatives of the same positive. So this is how the sigma takes over the mind control device. So if a positive happens in integration, why does the negative integration have the same amplitude as a sigma? Because the sigma is actually the bottom key, which is a set of sets. So since there's multiple levels of a sigma, which means there's multiple options in a sigma, not only do the range of the sigma increase, the numbers that are used in the sigma have a longer equation, which is more positives. And the more positives a sigma has, is the more options for negatives, since it's not an evolved sigma. So if this happens, not only does the removal of the sigma allow for equality to disappear, it allows for negative equality to happen, which means that the only sigma is actually the input and the output is actually the gain of the sigma, which is how only the sigma operates and operates no more no or no less. So if a inequality is happening under sigmas, not only do the equalities have an option of being removed, the negatives are now inequalities. So negative inequalities mean that both positives of the sigma and the differential are actually part of a calculator of both sides of multiples. So if multiples are the calculation of the entitlements are the card that represent the top motion, which is the sigma grind set. And sigma is actually not a motion to remove entitlements, but now gains the option of reserving entitlements for the Baron, which is the equalities.